Hello there, Daniel Gallegos with Arkansas Tech Athletics here with now former Golden Sun softball and volleyball player, two-sport star athlete at Arkansas Tech, Tymber Riley. And Tymber, we thank you for joining us today, and we are here to talk about you being named recently the 2021-2022 GAC Female Athlete of the Year. If you could just kind of tell us a little bit about your thoughts on winning that award.
Well, just I want to say thank you first. When you texted me yesterday, Daniel, it was like such a weird feeling because I want to tell everybody like it makes me want to cry, get butterflies inside. Like I'm just like so happy, so proud of myself, and it's like all the hard work I put in was like worth it in the classroom, on the field, on the court, everything. It just makes me feel I don't know, just like amazing.
You were one of
Yeah,
those
just for
athletes that
sisters.
had you had your career kind of altered quite a bit with COVID right in the middle of it. And so this was your final year, and we mentioned a two-sport athlete where you play volleyball and softball. Two-sport athletes aren't necessarily uncommon, but a lot of times, it's a cross-country runner that also does track or a few other things like that. You have two sports that are uniquely different than one another with volleyball and softball. Tell us how you got on that path to becoming a collegiate volleyball player and a softball player.
So I started both sports super young. So for softball, I was t-ball. For volleyball, I was the 8-year-old playing with the 12-year-olds. Grew up playing both in school and competitively. I started both competitively at also a very young age. I was 9 years old for softball, and also I was the 9-year-old on the 12 and under team for travel volleyball. And just growing up playing both, I fell so deeply in love with both sports. And like when I got to the recruiting process, I had so many coaches tell me like, Tymber, you have to choose. You can't do both. No one's gonna offer you to play both. You have to choose. And they're like, if you want to go big to a big school, big D1, like you got to focus on one. But like that wasn't the goal for me to go to a big D1. I wanted to play both, and I always had my mind made up on that. And Arkansas Tech made it happen.
And we're speaking for everybody here. We're certainly glad that they did, and that you came here. Again, with the two sports, it's not super uncommon. There have been some females in the GAC that have done that and have achieved a lot of success. But you are in a tier of their own this year, being your final year playing your final year of volleyball and softball. And I'm not sure if you know this, but you're the only female athlete in GAC history to be a first team all conference performer in two completely unique sports, that being volleyball and in softball. So if you didn't know that, congratulations. But it just
I
kind of
had no
speaks,
idea.
yeah, it speaks to the kind of year you had. So talk us, kind of through that year. You kind of know already going into it, it's gonna be your final year at Arkansas Tech. Definitely not the last of what you're going to accomplish, but athletically here at Tech going into it, um, starting off with volleyball. Talk us through that season and how that ended up getting first team all conference in that sport. You really had a breakout year and help lead the team to a championship.
Yeah, so for volleyball, I always my first 3 years I played a role of just like a DS, and I would hit occasionally, even though I got recruited as primarily a hitter. I just like wasn't at the collegiate level quite yet my first 3 years. And so going into this final year, I worked very hard over the summer. Coach Kara like would always make comments about how great I look and like just how I look like I'm jumping higher, moving better. Like I worked very hard over the summer because that summer, like I made up my mind. I was like, this is going to be the year. It's going to be their hit. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be the one that like set the ball to Tymber. We want Tymber to pass the ball. Like I wanted to be that person. And there it was hard. Like there was moments it was so hard and I didn't want to be that person. Like there was maybe a handful of days I'd go home crying because I'd have a hard practice just because I was so hard on myself. Like I wanted it so bad. And you can ask Coach Kara and all my teammates, like I really am hard on myself. There was the games where I wouldn't even be doing bad, but like I thought I was doing bad. And all my teammates and coaches just have to remind me, like, Tymber, you're fine. Like you made one error whenever I think I made six. And it was moments like that I really did want to give up. But then I just went back to like my initial thought, like, I want to be the best. I want to have the best year. I want to go out with a bang. Like, this is it. And I did know in the back of my head for both sports, like, I could play one more year because I do have 1 year of eligibility left because of COVID. But I'm really passionate about becoming an occupational therapist, so that's what I decided, and that's one thing that drove me to just really make this the best year, so I wouldn't have any regrets.
We certainly played very well. For volleyball, making that run for the conference through the conference tournament, it's a conference that is very well competitive, top to bottom. You guys had a resurgence this past year, helped led by you, and then in the conference tournament, especially the last little bit, that fifth set. What were the emotions like making that comeback and then sealing it off and knowing you were going to go to a regional?
It was crazy. So I've never been to a regional for volleyball before, and I think I was more excited that my teammates got like they get to experience a regional because I've experienced it in softball before. I really wanted them to, and I wanted to experience a volleyball regional. And I wasn't ready to be done during that game. And honestly, during the last couple of points, so I was on the front row whenever we were down, and I'm pretty sure it was Casely who's serving. She served us all the way back, a freshman. I was like, no way. Like I was so pumped, like a freshman, got us all the way back. And actually, like the last few points, I was on the bench and they put in a different DS, a stronger passer. And I was just, they're like, when you're on the bench, like there's nothing you can do but cheer on your teammates. So all of us cheered on everyone on the court as much as possible. It's kind of out of your hands at that point, but at the same time, not. But I'm like, this is my last year. Like, it was like kind of a surreal feeling. Like, it was out of my hands, but it wasn't because I trusted my teammates so much. It was just such a weird feeling. But the last point was like the best. Like, just knowing we did it, all the hard work and everything. And it was just awesome.
Yeah, you got to kind of celebrate that point twice, get it in the moment, and then the replay and getting it confirmed. That was a really cool moment watching it at home. So we'll transition from that point. You had maybe, I don't know, 2 3 weeks maybe to kind of rest and get yourself ready and prepare for the upcoming softball season. And not that you didn't have a great season in volleyball, because you obviously did, but your season in softball was incredible. It even got off to a huge start that first weekend in Houston. I think you had 6 or 8 doubles or something. Just you caught on fire and you never let up off the gas. What was it like that final run of softball and your team being around them?
So during those 2 weeks before softball, I was exhausted. Coach McSweeney and Coach Berkey and all my teammates were so great and so understanding about how tired I was and like with the amount of work I was going to be putting in following volleyball. I want to say this group of softball teammates has been one of the most understanding groups that I've ever been a part of. Of like they're working their butts off during the fall, and I'm not there. But then I just come in and just jump in and start playing. And as a girl, it's really easy to get jealous. And I've experienced all throughout high school, not so much in college, but like mean, jealous girls because I did the same thing in high school. But this group of girls were so welcoming. They made it so easy, so fun. Um, Whenever I first got into softball, we have like that break in December, Christmas break. I didn't work as hard as I wanted to, like between hitting and throwing, because I was still pretty exhausted from volleyball. But once softball hit in January, it was like full blown, like in volleyball, like it was my last year. And more so in softball, I feel like I have a bigger target on my back because of the accolades I got my freshman year. Like more people knew who I was, where in volleyball, no one really knew who I was because I was always in the back row. And so I like had that in the back of my mind constantly. And it's just the thought of like I just always want to be the best. And um, I wanted to go out with a bang, and I sure did. And whenever we went to Houston, what one thing that really drove me in Houston was knowing we were playing all those ranked teams, and like we're playing the best of the best. And like I said, I want to be the best. And so when we're playing the best of the best, I don't know, it just brought out like this extra like competitiveness inside me. And I was not going to be defeated. Like I didn't want our team to be defeated. We fought so hard in Houston against those hard teams. We did amazing. It was like a huge character building tournament. And I thought it was a really great way to start off the season, even though we didn't like win all the games. But like I said, it was a really big character building tournament. And I think it set us up really good for the rest of the season and gave me a lot of confidence.
You mentioned so in softball too. Your team ends up sharing for the regular season championship, something that's very difficult to do in our conference. As you know, softball is one of the top tier sports in the league. and
Mhm.
then you go off and have a four-peat of sorts in the conference tournament to make another regional. Still played well, even though the regional didn't end up the way you guys wanted it to. But talk a little bit through that postseason run, because there's something about when you guys, the softball team, hits Bentonville, your hometown. You guys seem to not lose games in advance to regionals.
Yeah, so, I think what really started us off, like, on a good note was, our last game against Southeastern at home, our senior day game. Do you remember how many innings that went into? It went into, like,
10 or 11.
yeah, so it was crazy stressful, like, I felt so much pressure on myself, like, it's senior night, um, I don't know, I just like, it was senior night. Last time on the field, wanted to win. People were trying to keep a secret that if we won that game, we'd be tied for first in the regular season, but I knew it, and I wanted to keep it a secret too, so I didn't, like, make other people nervous. But that really, like, set us up very good for the tournament, and it's just every year I've been to the tournament because we didn't go that one year because of COVID. So the 3 years we've been, it's a different mentality, and it's not really like a mentality you sit down and talk with your teammates about. It's like we show up and everyone's just on the same page, but it's not like we're showing up and we're cutthroat serious, like we're having fun. Like I remember warming up for our first game, and me and my hitting group, we're like warming up hitting the ball, and one of our teammates hits a good one. We're like, yeah, it's a bad day to be a softball. And like we're just sitting there joking around, and like it was just fun. Like we were having a good time. We were so confident. And we just knew we were, I don't know, like I said, it's a mentality you can't explain because you don't sit down and talk about it. You just show up, and we know that we're going to win. Like there's no doubt we're going to lose no matter who we're going to play, even whenever the tight games. Was it the SNU game was pretty tight? Yes. Oh, that game was so awesome. Yeah.
It was exciting to see it and be a part of it. And yeah, you're right. There's just something different when Arkansas Tech hits Bentonville in postseason play. Um, and then as your season progressed in softball, and your GAC Player of the Year and all the accolades that come with it, you end up getting first team All American. You're a consensus All American for softball. So kind of capping that from getting freshman All American to your final year at Tech, getting All American again. What does that mean to you, getting those awards?
So my freshman year when I got the awards, it's actually kind of funny. A lot of the seniors made fun of me. I didn't know what it meant. Like I didn't know it was an award. I was just out there playing, having fun. This year, whenever I got the award, still the same, playing, having fun, just doing my thing. Everyone always makes fun of me, like, Tymber, just go out there and think of rainbows and butterflies. Like, stop thinking about softball and your mechanics. Uh, I don't know, just getting those awards, I don't really know how to explain the feeling. It just really, like, makes me feel very good about myself. And as I said in the beginning of the interview, like, all my hard work is just paying off, and the hard work is, it's not easy, like it's hard work for a reason. And uh, and as I keep saying over and over, I do really want to be the best of the best, and being up there competing, being first team, second team All American, just really ensures me that what I've been doing wasn't for no reason.
Absolutely. And we've talked obviously about what you've done on the court, on the field, volleyball, softball, but one of the things that you've also really excelled at is in the classroom. You graduated with your undergrad in 3.5 years. You've got plans on moving on to occupational therapy school coming up. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But as somebody who nominates and votes on these academic awards, I was very, very happy to see you go all the way through and get academic All American for Division II softball. And you get that as an academic All American. You're Tech's nominee for the NCAA Woman of the Year. Hopefully that'll progress positively for you, and so many other awards that we could nominate you for. But talk about the academic side of things and getting that academic All American, because it does encompass a lot of what you do on the field, but also in the classroom in getting that achievement.
Yeah. So, just like anything, it wasn't easy at all. There was ups and downs, moments in classes that I just really wanted to give up on, like didn't want to try, didn't want to put forth the effort. I'm like, this is too hard. Moments where I just wanted to focus on sports, not school, just like any athlete. But a big thing I've always wanted and been so passionate about is becoming an occupational therapist. A big reason why I'm not taking my fifth year. But seeing whenever I got academic All American, that's just as great of a feeling as getting athletics like accolades. because it's hard. The classroom is hard, and a lot of professors, some of them don't support athletes, most do, but balancing both school and sports was something I really had to pick up on very quick my freshman year, especially my junior year. Whenever I was playing two sports at one time, I was taking some of my hardest classes. I think I was in the middle of like anatomy 1 and anatomy 2, which I needed for occupational therapy school. That was very hard. There's definitely more moments in those classes that I wanted to give up than any other classes. But I pushed through because didn't want to. I didn't want to, and I didn't lose sight of like how I want my future to turn out.
Well, everything you accomplished, you definitely worked hard for this year, not only this year, but your entirety of the career. So it was great to have it all kind of culminate together. And we won't take any much more of your time, but we do want to, again, congratulate you once more for being the 2021 and 2022 GAC Female Athlete of the Year. It is Tymber Riley at Arkansas Tech for volleyball and softball. Tymber, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.